The rain hammered the roof of the old Ford like fists on a drum. Each drop of accusation Olivia could not outrun. She gripped the steering wheel until her knuckles bleached white. The dashboard clock mocking her with its relentless tick past midnight. In the rearview mirror, the taillights of her family's farmhouse faded into the Iowa night, swallowed by the storm that felt like it had been brewing inside her for years. She had packed nothing but a backpack stuffed with thrift store clothes and a dog-eared copy of the Bell Jar. The one book her mother called trash for girls with ideas above their station. Olivia's chest heaved with sobs she tried to swallow. But they clawed their way out anyway. Raw and jagged. The road stretched black and endless ahead, leading her toward Chicago because why not? It was big enough to hide in. To disappear the way her father had just made her feel she should. Hours blurred into a haze of windshield wipers and country radio static. Her mind replaying the dinner table explosion like a looped nightmare. "You're my daughter," her father had thundered. His face purple under the harsh kitchen bulb. Fork clattering against his plate. Not some freak playing dress-up with girls. Her mother's silence had been the knife twist. Eyes fixed on her peas as if Olivia's confession was just another spill to mop up. She had stood there. 16 candles on her last birthday cake still fresh in memory. And whispered, "I'm gay. Dad. I love who I love." The backhand came swift. Not hard enough to bruise but enough to shatter something deeper. Now. At 18? Legal to flee but not to forget. She pulled into a truck stop off I-80. The neon sign flickering "Eat" like a cruel joke. Her stomach growled. But pride kept her in the car until the rain eased to a drizzle. Inside, the air smelled of grease and regret. Fluorescent lights buzzing over Formica counters where truckers hunched like forgotten statues. Olivia slid into a booth, ordering coffee black because it was cheap and burned away the chill in her bones. The waitress? A woman with laugh lines etched deep in a name tag reading Marge, eyed her with that maternal squint Olivia knew too well. "Rough night, hon?" Marge slid the mug over. Steam curling like a question mark. Olivia shrugged, staring into the dark liquid as if it held maps to new lives. Words stuck in her throat. The kind that had gotten her disowned. So she just nodded, fingers tracing the mug's chipped rim. Marge lingered, wiping the same spot on the counter. "World's full of rough nights. But it gets softer if you let it." She tapped a pen against her order pad. Then scribbled something on a napkin. "There's a shelter in Chi-town. Run by folks who get it. No judgments." Olivia glanced up, surprise flickering through the numbness. The napkin had an address and a phone number, scrawled in loopy cursive. For the first time since the farmhouse, a spark of something not quite hope but close enough warmed her palms around the coffee. Dawn broke gray and unforgiving as Olivia emerged onto the highway again. The napkin tucked into her pocket like a talisman. Chicago loomed on the horizon, its skyline a jagged promise of anonymity. She thought of Sophia only in fragments then. A name from a half-remembered online forum for queer youth. Someone who had posted about building a life from ashes. But that was months ago. A digital ghost. Reality pressed heavier, the weight of alone settling like silt in her lungs. By noon, the city enveloped her. Streets alive with horns and hurried pedestrians. A far cry from the cornfields that had choked her dreams. She found the shelter in a converted warehouse on the south side. Its door propped open with a milk crate. Volunteers buzzing like bees in a hive. The intake worker, a burly man named Ray with a rainbow pin on his collar, asked questions gently. No prying. Just facts to log. "Name's Olivia," she said. Voice steady for the first time in hours. "Just need a bed. And maybe a way to not hate myself tomorrow." He nodded, handing her a key to a shared room upstairs. "We got group tonight. Stories help stitch the wounds." Olivia climbed the stairs, backpack slung over one shoulder. The creak of wood underfoot echoing her heartbeat. The room held 4 bunks. 2 occupied by women who glanced up from their books, offering small smiles that didn't demand reciprocation. She claimed the top bunk by the window, staring out at the L train rattling past. Its cars a blur of lives intersecting without collision. That night? Group circle under strings of fairy lights. Olivia sat cross-legged on a worn rug. Knees drawn to her chest. Faces around her varied like a mosaic. Young and old. Scarred and healing. When her turn came, words tumbled out haltingly at first. Then in a rush. The disownment. The slap. The drive-through rain that felt like baptism gone wrong. A woman across the circle, mid-20s with tattoos snaking up her arms, reached over and squeezed her hand. "You're here now," she murmured. "That's the win." Sleep came fitful. Dreams tangled with farmhouse shadows and city lights. Morning brought oatmeal in the communal kitchen and a job lead from Ray. A barista gig at a coffee shop in Wicker Park that didn't ask for references. Olivia suited up in borrowed scrubs. The bus ride a gauntlet of stares she imagined judging. But the manager, a no-nonsense Latina named Carla, took one look at her resume gap and said, "Life happens. Show up on time, and we're good." The shop smelled of roasted beans and fresh scones. A sanctuary of clinking mugs and indie folk playlists. Olivia learned fast. Her hands steady as she frothed milk. The rhythm soothing the chaos in her head. Customers came and went. Their orders a litany of small kindnesses. Extra foam, keep the change, you got this. By week's end, tips jingled in her apron pocket. Enough for a month's rent at a sublet Ray knew about. One afternoon, as golden hour slanted through the windows, the bell tinkled and in walked Sophia. Tall, with skin like polished mahogany and curls pinned back in an effortless twist. She carried a sketchpad under one arm. Dressed in wide leg pants and a silk blouse that whispered of galleries and deadlines. Olivia's breath caught. Not just at the beauty but the recognition. That forum ghost made flesh. Sophia ordered a flat white. Her voice smooth as vinyl. Eyes scanning the menu with distracted focus. "Name's Sophia," she said as Olivia handed over the cup. Their fingers brushing in that electric way that sends sparks up spines. "You new here?" Olivia nodded. Mumbling her name. Heart pounding like a bass line. Sophia lingered. Sipping at the counter. Chatting about the neighborhood's hidden murals. "I'm a designer," she explained. Flipping open her pad to reveal bold lines of urban landscapes infused with queer icons. Trying to capture the pulse of this place. Conversation flowed easy. Like they'd been orbiting each other for years. Sophia laughed at Olivia's awkward joke about burnt espresso shots. A sound rich and unguarded. When closing time rolled around, she offered a ride home on her Vespa. The wind whipping through Olivia's hair as they wove through traffic. At the sublet drop-off, Sophia hesitated. Helmet in hand. "Group at the shelter tomorrow. You going?" Olivia's yes was a whisper. But it hung between them like a bridge. That night, alone in her bunk, Olivia traced the ceiling cracks. Replaying the brush of fingers. The scent of Sophia's perfume like jasmine and rain. Desire stirred. Tentative and terrifying. A flame she feared would consume her again. But in the quiet, she allowed it. A sigh escaping as she turned toward the window. City lights winking like conspirators. Weeks blurred into routine. Coffee shifts bleeding into late-night texts with Sophia. Their words a tentative dance. "Missed your smile today," Sophia typed one evening. And Olivia's cheeks burned. Replying with a heart emoji that felt like confession. They met for walks in Lincoln Park. Leaves crunching underfoot. Sharing slices of pasts. Sophia spoke of her own coming out in Detroit. The church doors slammed shut. The art school scholarship that pulled her east. "I build worlds on paper because the real one kicked me out," she said. Voice soft against the lake breeze. Olivia opened slower. Fragments of Iowa guilt spilling out. "They called me a phase. Like loving her was a bad haircut." Sophia stopped. Turning to face her. Hands cupping Olivia's face with a gentleness that unraveled knots. "You're not a phase. You're a revelation." Their first kiss happened there. Under a canopy of turning maples. Tentative at first. Then deepening with the hunger of the starved. Olivia tasted salt from her own tears. Sophia's lips a bomb. And in that moment, the world narrowed to the press of bodies. The sigh that escaped them both. But joy came laced with shadows. Olivia's phone buzzed one night with a blocked number. Her mother's voice cracking through the line. "Come home, baby. We can pray this away." The words landed like stones. Olivia curling into a ball on her bed. Sobs muffled in pillow. Sophia found her there. Wrapping arms around the trembling form. Rocking gently. "You're home with me," she whispered. And Olivia clung tighter. The dowdong of fear and love pulling her under. Fall deepened into winter's grasp. Chicago's wind slicing through coats like unanswered prayers. Olivia and Sophia carved out a rhythm in the chaos. Mornings tangled in Sophia's loft overlooking the river, where sunlight filtered through floor-to-ceiling windows, painting their skin in gold. The space was a testament to Sophia's craft. Walls alive with sketches and canvases. Half-finished dreams in charcoal and ink. Olivia would wake to the scratch of pencil on paper. Sophia capturing her sleeping form with lines that made her feel seen. Not just looked at. "You're my muse," Sophia teased one morning. Over pancakes stacked haphazardly. Syrup dripping like lazy rivers. Olivia blushed. Ducking her head. But inside, the words bloomed. Filling cracks left by disownment. She had quit the shelter bunk for this. Their lease a joint signature on dotted lines. A commitment whispered in the dark. Work at the coffee shop steadied. Tips funding art supplies for Sophia's latest commission. A mural for a queer youth center that Olivia posed for in secret. Her profile etched into brick dreams. Yet doubt not at edges. Olivia's reflections in steamed mirrors showing a girl still half-shadowed. Late shifts brought lonely bus rides home. Mind wandering to Iowa fields. Wondering if her brother still left the porch light on for ghosts. What if they never forgive, she asked Sophia one night. Curled on the couch amid takeout cartons. The TV murmuring forgotten sitcoms. Sophia paused. Fork midway to mouth. Eyes searching. Forgiveness isn't yours to beg. It's theirs to offer. Or not. A sigh escaped Olivia. Heavy with the weight of what-ifs. But Sophia pulled her close. Heart beat a steady drum against her ear. They traveled south for Thanksgiving. A whim born of Sophia's need for sun and Olivia's ache for escape. New Orleans welcomed them with jazz spilling from doorways. Air thick with beignet and bewitching humidity. They wandered the French Quarter hand in hand. Fingers laced defiantly against sidelong glances. Stopping at Café du Monde for powdered sugar dusted treats. Taste freedom, Sophia said. Feeding Olivia a bite. Laughter bubbling as sugar dusted their noses. In a jazz club off Bourbon Street. Under dim chandeliers. They swayed to saxophone wails. Bodies pressed in rhythm. Olivia's head on Sophia's shoulder. The music drowning insecurities. But cracks widened on the flight back. Turbulence mirroring inner storms. Olivia's phone lit with a voicemail from her father. Voice gruff and halting. Heard you're shacked up with some woman. Come to your senses? Girl? Before it's too late. The words replayed in her mind. A loop of condemnation that soured the gumbo warmth. She deleted it. But the poison lingered. Manifesting in snapped replies at work. A burnt batch of lattes that Carla eyed warily. Talk to me, kid, her manager said during closing. Steam wand hissing like accusation. Olivia leaned against the counter. Wiping counters harder than needed. Family stuff. The kind that sticks. Carla nodded. No pity. Just solidarity in her dark eyes. Mine disowned me for less. Built my own now. She slid Olivia a business card for a therapist specializing in queer trauma. The paper crisp as new resolve. Sessions started haltingly. Dr. Lena's office a cozy nook with plants and plush chairs. Where Olivia unpacked the farmhouse like a suitcase of stones. Anger is valid, Dr. Lena said softly. Her voice a gentle prod. It protects until you're ready to let go. Olivia left each time lighter. Sighs deeper. The dowdong between rage and release a tide she learned to ride. Sophia noticed the shift. Their nights evolving from frantic embraces to quiet talks by the fire escape. Stars pricked against city haze. "You're blooming," Sophia murmured one evening, tracing Olivia's collarbone with feather-light fingers. Olivia turned, vulnerability raw in her gaze. "Because of you." Their lovemaking that night was slow, exploratory. Hands mapping scars both seen and unseen. Breaths mingling in sighs that spoke of healing. Spring unfurled with cherry blossoms along the mag mile. And with it, an invitation that twisted Olivia's gut. Her brother, Ethan, texted after months of silence. Coordinates for a family wedding in rural Illinois. Their cousin's big day. Dad's mellowing. "Come. Bring whoever." The whoever hung heavy. Olivia showing Sophia the message over diner eggs. Fork trembling. "What if it's a trap?" Sophia chewed thoughtfully. Then reached across the formica. "Or a door. We go together. Show them the woman I love." The drive back to Iowa was a time machine. Cornfields whispering memories. Olivia's grip white-knuckled on the wheel of their rented sedan. Sophia hummed blues tunes to ease the tension. Her hand a constant on Olivia's thigh. They arrived at the old homestead under a sky bruised with clouds. The wraparound porch sagging like unresolved grudges. Ethan met them at the door. Lanky and awkward. Pulling Olivia into a bear hug that smelled of hay and home. "Missed you, Liv." His eyes flicked to Sophia. Curious but kind. "This the one?" Inside. The air thickened with pot roast and pretense. Aunts and uncles milling like polite ghosts. Olivia's mother hovered in the kitchen. Apron tied tight. Eyes darting away when Sophia offered to help with dishes. "We're fine," she said curtly. But her hands shook on the suds. Dinner was a minefield. Small talk skirting edges. Until Uncle Ray, red-faced from beer, boomed. "So, Olivia, what's this I hear about city lights and ladies?" The table fell silent. Forks pausing mid-air. Olivia's heart thundered. But Sophia's foot nudged hers under the table. A silent anchor. She set down her napkin. Voice steady despite the quiver. "Sophia's my partner. We lived together in Chicago. She's a designer. Brilliant one." Pride swelled in her chest. Chasing fear. Her father grunted from the head. Eyes fixed on his plate. City changes folks. But no explosion came. Just an uneasy truce as pie was served. Crust flaky with unspoken words. Later. On the porch swing creaking in twilight. Ethan joined them. Passing a flask of whiskey warmed by his pocket. "Dad's trying. In his way. Mom cries at night still." Olivia sipped. The burn grounding her. "It hurts. Ethan. Like they buried me alive." He nodded. Shadows playing on his face. "I know. But you're alive. That's something." Sophia listened. Arm around Olivia's shoulders. Her presence a shield. As stars pricked the sky, Olivia leaned into her. A sigh of tentative peace escaping. Back in Chicago. The wedding loomed 2 weeks away. A black tie affair at a barn venue outside Peoria. Olivia threw herself into preparations. Borrowing a dress from a shop girl at work. Emerald silk that hugged her curves like affirmation. Sophia tailored it with pins and patience. Their apartment a whirlwind of fabric swatches and laughter. "You'll steal the show," Sophia said. Kissing the nape of her neck. Sending shivers down Olivia's spine. But nights brought dreams of rejection. Waking her in sweats. Sophia's arms pulling her back to earth. "We're a team," she reminded. Voices low in the dark. Olivia nodded. But the Dao Dong persisted. Love's certainty clashing with family's ghost. Therapy helped. Dr. Lena probing gently. "Boundaries aren't walls. They're gardens you tend." Olivia journaled after. Pages filling with lists of worth. Sophia's name at the top. The day arrived crisp with May promise. The drive south a blur of highways and heartbeats. The barn glowed with string lights. Tables laden with mason jar florals. Guests in pastel finery. Olivia and Sophia arrived arm in arm. Heads high. Drawing murmurs like ripples. Cousin Mia. The bride. Hugged them fierce at the entrance. You came. Both of you. Her eyes shone. Inclusive and bright. Seating was at a table with distant relatives. Conversation flowing easier with wine's lubrication. Sophia charmed with stories of mural unveilings. Her laugh drawing smiles even from skeptics. Olivia watched. Chest swelling. Her hand finding Sophia's under the tablecloth. Fingers entwining like vows. Dinner plates cleared. And the toasts began. Heartfelt and humorous. Until the mic circled to Olivia's father. He stood. Glass raised. Voice rough as gravel. Family's messy. We stumble. We fall. Pauses hung heavy. Eyes on him. My girl Olivia. She's made her path. Proud. Even if I was slow. The words landed soft. No fanfare. But Olivia's breath hitched. Tears pricking. Applause rippled. And he sat. Avoiding her gaze. But the gesture lingered like grace. Dancing followed. The floor alive with twirls and dips. Sophia pulled Olivia out. Their bodies swaying to a slow country ballad. World fading to just them. See? Sophia whispered. Breath warm on ear. Your value was always there. Olivia buried face in her neck. Sigh deep in releasing. The dao-dong settling into harmony. Summer heat blanketed the Midwest. Turning the wedding's afterglow into a fragile bloom Olivia nurtured in quiet moments. Back in the loft. She pored over community college catalogs. Fingers tracing course descriptions for graphic design. Inspired by Sophia's passion. You'd be killer at this, Sophia encouraged over iced lattes on the balcony. Sweat beading on their glasses. Your eye for detail? The way you see stories in steam swirls. Olivia smiled. But doubt flickered. A whisper of not good enough rooted deep in Iowa soil. Classes started in June. A commuter campus in the Loop where Olivia juggled syllabi and shifts. Notebooks crammed with sketches born of late-night inspirations. Sophia framed the first one on their fridge. A whimsical coffee cup morphing into a phoenix. Wings of foam. This is you, she said. Kissing Olivia's temple. Pride warm as sunlight. Their love deepened in stolen hours. Picnics in Grant Park where they fed each other grapes. Laughter echoing off the bean sculpture. Bodies later entwined on checkered blankets. Sighs mingling with distant traffic hums. Yet family tendrils pulled. Ethan's calls more frequent. Laced with updates that stirred old aches. Dad's asking about you. Mentioned a job fair in town. Olivia's responses were measured. Therapy teaching her the art of measured steps. Dr. Lena nodded in sessions. Her office now familiar with its fern fronds casting lacy shadows. Progress isn't linear. It's a spiral. Circling back stronger. Olivia left with breathing exercises tucked in her mind. Practicing them on the L train. Exhales syncing with the rails click. A package arrived unannounced. Postmarked from the farmhouse. Contents spilling like confessions, a quilt pieced from Olivia's childhood dresses. Note attached in her mother's shaky script. For cold nights. We miss you. No apology. But the stitches held stories. Uneven but earnest. Olivia draped it over their bed. Fingers tracing seams. Tears falling silent. Sophia found her there. Wrapping from behind. Chin on shoulder. It's a start, she murmured. Voice thick. They made love under its weight that night. Slow and reverent. Each touch amending. Fall semester brought deadlines and doubts. Olivia's portfolio blooming with digital renders. But imposter syndrome whispered failures. One critique night. Professor's red pen slashed her layout. Words like lacks cohesion echoing Disowned slaps. She stormed out. Rain-slick streets mirroring inner turmoil. Phoning Sophia from a payphone. Voice breaking. I can't do this. Sophia arrived in minutes. Umbrella shielding them both. Pulling her into a cab. Home. Over chamomile tea. Sophia reviewed the piece. Eyes keen. It's raw. That's power. Polish it with me. They worked till dawn. Sophia's guidance gentle. Hands over hands on the mouse. Laughter breaking tension when pixels rebelled. The revised version earned praise next class. Professor nodding. You've got voice, Olivia. Hone it. Elation surged. Shared with Sophia over victory falafel. Kisses tasting of tahini and triumph. Their bond fortified. Weekends escaping to Door County, Wisconsin, where Lake Michigan lapped at Pebble shores. Cabins rented for fireside stories. Remember New Orleans? Sophia asked one dusk. Flames dancing in her eyes. Olivia nodded, pulling her close. Every note. But winter's chill brought storms anew. Olivia's father calling direct for the first time. Voice strained over static. Ethan's getting married. Spring. Thought you'd come. Pause. Then softer. With her. If that's how it is. Olivia's hand trembled on the receiver. Sophia's eyes questioning from across the room. We'll think on it, she replied. Hanging up to collapse into waiting arms. It's real, she whispered. Sobs racking. Sophia held firm. Rocking. Her own tears silent witnesses. Whatever you choose. I'm here. Decisions brewed over holidays. A quiet Christmas in the loft with strung lights and takeout prime rib. Gifts wrapped in newsprint, Sophia's custom sketchpad for Olivia. Filled with prompts, Olivia's handmade mug. Glazed with intertwined initials. New Year's found them on a rooftop bar. City fireworks exploding like heartbeats. Toasts to futures unwritten. To us, Sophia said. Clinking glasses. And Olivia echoed. The word a vow. Spring wedding loomed. Ethan's nuptials at a lakeside pavilion in Michigan. Waters of Lake Huron sparkling invitation. Olivia agonized over RSVPs. Therapy unpacking layers of want and wariness. Go for you, Dr. Lena urged. Not permission. Packing became ritual. Sophia ironing shirts with care. Their suitcase a shared armor. The drive north wound through dunes and orchards. Michigan's thumb a gentle curve. Olivia's playlist a mix of folk and R&B to steady nerves. Arrival brought hugs from Ethan. His fiancée Lena a warm Midwesterner with freckles and easy grace. Family expands, she said. Linking arms with Olivia. The pavilion buzzed pre-ceremony. Chairs in rows facing the aisle. Wildflowers nodding in breeze. Sophia sat beside. Hand in hers. A quiet strength. Vows exchanged under a arch of branches. Ethan's voice cracking on promises. Mirroring Olivia's inner echo. Reception tents glowed with lanterns. Tables groaning under farm-to-table feasts. Laughter rising like steam. Olivia's parents approached tentative. Her mother clutching a small gift bag. Father shuffling feet. You look well, he said. Eyes on Sophia briefly. Both of you. Awkward small talk followed. Weather and work. But beneath. A thaw. Mother pulled Olivia aside later. Near the dessert spread. The quilt. I made it thinking of you cold. I'm sorry. Baby. For the cold I caused. Tears flowed free. Embrace fierce. Body shaking with release. Father joined. Gruff pat on back. Proud you're building. Even if different. Sophia watched from afar. Giving space. Her smile radiant when Olivia returned. Flushed and undone. You did it, she whispered. Pulling into a dance as band struck up a waltz. Floor crowded with kin. Old and new. Olivia's head on Sophia's shoulder. Sighs sinking with melody. We're whole, she breathed. And Sophia's yes was a caress. Back in Chicago. The event rippled. Calls from relatives. Tentative bridges. Olivia's grade soared. Internship at Sophia's studio a natural fit. Their days a duet of creation. Summers found them road tripping Route 66 remnants. Stops and diners for pie and tails. Nights under desert stars in New Mexico. Bodies traced by firelight. Love's language in gasps and grips. Yet depth called for more. Olivia proposing a family gathering of their own. A backyard barbecue in the loft shared garden space. Inviting blood and chosen alike. Planning became passion project. Menus debated over wine. Guest lists blending Iowa kin with Chicago queer collective. Show them your world, Sophia said. Chopping veggies. Knife rhythmic. Olivia nodded. Excitement dowdong with nerves. But resolve firmed. Invites sent. Responses trickled positive. Even parents yes, a quiet miracle. Weeks flew. Loft transformed with fairy lights and folding tables. Grill smoking with burgers and veggie skewers. Guests arrived in waves. Hugs and handshakes. Ethan's family mingling with shelter friends. Ray from intake cracking jokes over brews. Olivia's parents came last. Bearing pie from home kitchen. Mother smile shy. They toured the space. Father nodding at canvases. Talents here. Sophia engaged them easy. Sharing design stories. Drawing mother into talk of quilting patterns. Laughter built. Barriers crumbling like overripe fruit. As sun dipped. Olivia stood on a milk crate. Glass raised. Voice clear. This is family. The kind we choose and mend. Cheers rose. Plates passed. Conversations weaving like threads. Parents watched Olivia and Sophia dance slow in the grass. Hands linked. A sigh of acceptance escaping father's lips. Night deepened. Stars witnesses. Olivia leaned into Sophia. Heart full. We did this. Sophia's kiss was answer. Soft and sure. Autumn leaves carpeted the garden in crimson and gold. The barbecue's echoes lingering like aftertaste. Sweet and sustaining. Olivia's internship evolved into full-time. Her designs gracing bus stop ads. Bold statements on identity that turned heads and sparked dialogues. Sophia mentored with patience. Their studio sessions a blend of critique and caress. Coffee breaks stolen for kisses against drafting tables. You're unstoppable, Sophia said one afternoon. Sunlight slanting through blinds. Illuminating dust motes like confetti. Family ties strengthened in increments. Weekly calls with Ethan now routine. Parents' letters arriving with recipes and clippings. No sermons attached. Olivia reciprocated with photos. Loft life snapshots. Sophia's arm around her waist in candid frames. Healing's a garden, she told Dr. Lena. Sessions tapering to monthly check-ins. The office a landmark of growth. Weeds come. But roots hold. Winter holidays beckoned with blended traditions. A drive to Iowa for Christmas Eve. Loft hosting New Year's with city friends. The farmhouse felt less like cage. More museum of self. Olivia stringing lights on the tree with her mother. Hands brushing in quiet accord. Your girls got fire, father told Sophia over eggnog. Gruff approval warming the room. Laughter-filled spaces once silent. Board games and carols. Olivia's voice joining harmonies. Sighs of contentment shared. Spring brought promotions. Olivia's first solo project, a queer history timeline for a museum exhibit. Panels alive with voices long muted. Opening night gala in the Art Institute's halls. Gowns and tuxes swirling. Sophia in emerald velvet beside her. Arm-linked proud. Toasts rang. Colleagues praising. But Olivia's eyes sought parents in the crowd. Their presence a nod from across marble floors. You shone, mother whispered later. Hug lingering. Summer road trip west. Canyons of Utah swallowing their rental jeep. Echoes of vastness mirroring inner expanses. Campfires crackled stories. Olivia's head in Sophia's lap. Fingers combing hair as stars wheeled overhead. Forever feels possible here, Olivia murmured. Vulnerability raw. Sophia's response was a vow etched in flame light. Bodies later merging under tent canvas. Rhythms syncing with night winds. Sighs profound as canyons. Back east. Olivia proposed the family event. A lakeside retreat in upstate New York. Cabins rented for a weekend of reconnection. Theme, stories shared. No judgments. Invites framed as olive branches. Responses unanimous yes. Even distant cousins curious. Logistics hummed. Menus of potlucks and esmores. Activities like bonfires and boat rides. Journey north curved through green hills. Adirondacks welcoming with pine-scented air. Cabins dotted the shore. Wood smoke curling lazy. Greetings warm. Embraces easy. Parents arriving with coolers. Ethan towing Lena and toddler niece. Evenings gathered around fire pits. Chairs in circles. Prompts passed like batons, tell us a turning point. Olivia went first. Voice steady by flickering light. Recounting the rainy drive. The shelter door. Sophia's hand in hers at the coffee counter. Laughter at mishaps. Tears at pains. Nods of recognition rippling. Sophia followed. Detroit church to Chicago canvas. Love for Olivia the pivot. Parents shared haltingly. Father's farm struggles. Mother's quiet fears. Apologies woven natural. We were scared, Mother said. Eyes on Olivia. Of losing you to a world we didn't understand. Niece toddled between legs. Demanding stories of her own. Giggles dissolving tensions. Days blurred boat paddles and hikes. Trails revealing vistas that stole breaths. Metaphors unspoken. One afternoon, Olivia and Sophia slipped away to a hidden cove. Waters lapping pebbles. Dipping toes in chill. This is value, Olivia said. Head on Sophia's knee. Sun-dappling faces. Not perfection. Presence. Sophia's fingers traced jawline. Sigh deep. You've always had it. Now they see. Culminating night. Full moon silvering the lake. Group hike to a overlook. Blankets spread for stargazing. Telescopes borrowed. Constellations named. Myths retold. Father pulled Olivia aside on the path. Voice low. That night I hit you. Worst of me. You're stronger for it. For us. Hug came awkward but real. Chest to chest. Years dissolving in the hold. Bonfire finale roared. Marshmallows toasting golden. Songs strummed on borrowed guitar. Olivia and Sophia danced barefoot in dirt. Bodies swaying. Guests clapping rhythm. Parents watched. Smiles genuine. Mother even joining a turn. Steps tentative but joyful. As embers died to glow. Goodbyes lingered. Promises of visits exchanged. Bridges solid. Return to Chicago felt charged. City pulse a counterpoint to rural calm. Olivia's exhibit toured. Panels and galleries from Boston to LA. Sophia's murals commissioned nationwide. Their life a tapestry. Threads of past and present interlacing. Anniversaries marked with quiet rituals. Rooftop dinners overlooking skyline. Toasts to endurance. One crisp fall evening. Years layered like leaves. Olivia knelt in the loft. Ring box velvet soft. Words tumbling heartfelt. Marry me. Sophia. Build every tomorrow. Tears welled. Yes a breath. Embrace fierce. Wedding planned intimate. Lakeside again. Family full circle. Vows echoing first kisses. Years on. Stories retold at gatherings. Olivia's designs award-winning. Sophia's gallery show sold out. Children came by a surrogacy. A boy with Sophia's curls. Girl with Olivia's eyes. Home filled with chaos and love. Parents doted. Grandparents now. Teaching pie crusts and farm tales. Acceptance full bloom. In quiet moments. Olivia reflects. Journal open. Pen pausing. The disowned a scar. Faded but felt. Value proven not in perfection but persistence. Sophia finds her there. Arms encircling. Chin on shoulder. Still writing? Olivia nods. Closing the book. Our story. Endless. Sigh shared. Deep and grateful. Love's depth a constant hum. The world turns. Seasons cycle. But in their orbit. Resonance lingers. Humanistic echo of worth reclaimed. Love's quiet revolution.